This is George Sicalius, and this is Sprint 7. Okay, so just a quick showcase of what I've been working on. So I got the GodCam working. I have the visualizer working with BSpheres. And as for the actual collision, so as of right now, they're colliding. The two objects are colliding with each other. The object moving is the player. The stationary ship is the enemy. So if I leave the bounding sphere of the enemy, it will stop detecting collisions between them. And you can also see that on the in the output window. And if I were to re-enter the BSphere, it would start detecting collisions again. Yeah. So this week I looked a little bit into switching out the models. The plane, I'm just reusing sandgrass from the graphics, so I don't really think that counts as getting a new texture for that. As for the tank models, I honestly looked for some files, but all of them were incompatible with the converter. So I'm gonna have to work on that later. As back to the actual coding stuff. So now every collidable object has a reference to a pointer to the corresponding game object's model, along with a BSphere to be used for collisions. So in ship has to register its collision itself, and then it has to send its model back to the Collidable class to be saved in the BSphere, in its corresponding BSphere. So this goes to Collidable. So collider model. And that just sets the model. And then during the update phase of ship, I think I also do it, where'd ship go? And then along with that, I also have to set the, I have to update my position in the world. And I do that using update collision data. And that will recompute the center of the frigate, the BSphere for the frigate. So yeah, so this goes back up to Collidable. Then that calls compute data on the corresponding BSphere. And then this is where it recomputes the center of the BSphere. And I'm not sure if this was the best way to go about it, but in order to obtain the scale for the radius, I essentially took the magnitude of the x column and just multiplied that with the radius to get the new radius of the BSphere. So I'm pretty sure that this requires a square root call, and I know that's costly. I don't know if there's, well, I'm not sure if there's a better way to go about that. But yeah, so this is how I'm updating the center and the radius each update. So yeah, so then that data for the BSphere is then used within the actual collision pair commands. So before, when I was originally just reporting true, now I'm actually getting the BSpheres of the corresponding collidable objects, and then I'm actually testing their intersect. So let me pull that up in Math Tools. So all that's doing is it's getting the distance squared between the two centers, and then comparing that with the combination of the addition of the radii squared. And since this is squared and the distance between the centers is squared, then in theory they should be comparable. So yeah, that's Math Tools. It's a static function since it doesn't need to hold any member variables or anything. So yeah, that's pretty much the collision portion of the sprint. The actual visualizer. So where's test pairs? So in collision, whether I'm detecting collision or not, I'm updating my visual BSphere. So let me go to that. Visualizer, okay, this is the header. So visualizer, it's a singleton. The only thing I think I'm storing is a graphics object, which I'm essentially recycling to compute the BSphere. So yeah, I'll go into more detail about that. So when show BSphere is called, it goes here, it goes into this. God damn it. Where is... Okay. So it goes into show BSphere. Since I'm passing it the BSphere and a corresponding color coordinate, color vector. Inside show BSphere, I'm essentially calculating the world position. Yeah, I'm calculating the world position of the BSphere, and then I'm passing it into a visualizer command. So this will go through the scene, which eventually goes to the actual draw command. I'm not using this, I just forgot to comment that out. The only thing that a visualizer draw command is storing is the matrix, the world matrix, and the its corresponding color. So I'm setting those, and then I have them hooked up to a broker. Let me pull up scene. So I added a new DrawBroker to scene. It's okay, yeah, here. Okay. So within my draw command, I'm checking to see if I received any new visualizer draw commands. If I did, I'll execute those. It works just like the other broker. Only exception though is I put a pool for the visualizer commands inside of the broker, so I don't have to keep creating new ones and deleting them. I can just recycle the ones that I already created. So yeah, so when the broker is executed, is processed, the commands are executed, and that calls render BSphere, which passes the matrix and color back to the visualizer, and then the visualizer inside the draw stage, because this is all happening inside the draw stage, will then set the world matrix, set the color, and then draw the BSphere in that current position. So yeah. And I also demonstrated this a little bit, but I got a GodCam working. It's not terribly different from the first-person view cam of the ship, which we were given. But yeah. So I think that's it. Oh, I also managed to get a static color class. Thought I gave it its own. Yeah. Just to keep track of a couple colors, so I don't have to keep recomputing the vectors. That's it. It's not really, doesn't really do a whole lot. Anyways, well, that's it. Yeah.